Welcome to For Collectors.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel, For Collectors, a channel that's for collectors like you. And tonight we're gonna have three other than me. We're gonna have four collectors on tonight, and we're gonna reflect on the year 2024. You know, some cards we picked, our favorite cards we picked up, some great deals we got at shows, our favorite show of the year. Maybe we'll talk about somebody we met this year that we're friends with now. And we'll also start talking about what we expect in 2025. So it's going to be a really fun show. I got a great panel on tonight. Let me bring on the first one here. We got Mike in the house. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Theo. Good to be here.
So Mike is very, very hard to book. He's got certain times he can be on. And I actually, it's the most money I've ever paid for somebody per minute. So very expensive to have him on.
Yeah, so this is past my bedtime, as you know. And so I took a nap this late morning, I guess. And hopefully I won't fall asleep while we're doing this.
No, you'll be fine. And then Mike said I have to mention his newsletter at least 5 times or else he'll never come back. So
people, none of that's true, you guys. Don't believe him.
No. All right, let's bring on the next guy. Mr. Oh, wait. He's not here yet. I'm contractually obligated to show this.
In a world that won't stop breaking.
AJ Brown! No way! 99 out of 99 RPM!
In a hobby filled with hustlers, scams, and flim-flams.
We got a 1987 Fleer!
One collector is watching it all from the shadows, fighting hobby crime, one snarky comment at a time.
One of these days, Norton.
And now, it's time to get petty.
Let's crack it out and find out it's true.
Eddie.
I'm gonna have a parallelogram with a cracked Ice House Treasures kaboomy. Cause when you're fat, old, and don't give a shit, you don't need to work.
On January 30th,
Are you trying to push my buttons?
the eye appeal event of the millennium,
Your hair is so luscious. Look at that gray
You know,
hair.
I just got it cut.
Mike Petty leaves the chat and joins 4 collectors.
Theo would love this one, but unfortunately it's got terrible eye appeal.
He's not the collector we need. He's the collector we deserve.
People say, well, buy what you like. Collect what you like. That.
Dark Mike rises. Only on 4 collectors.
A little beverage, I'm ready to talk some baseball cards.
There we go.
Oh,
was
what a handsome guy that is.
It was so worth the 90 seconds, was it not?
Oh, sure it was. Yeah, I've grown a couple chins since then. What's up there, Flapjack?
Not much, Mike.
Hey,
It's
Mike,
great.
good to see you there, Rubberneck.
I need one of those intro videos. Mine would be terribly boring, though.
It could be like
Oh,
an advertisement for Sominex. Very soothing.
I do get a lot of those comments that say, this guy puts me to sleep.
Oh, you got a great voice for nighttime.
We'll
Well,
work
let's
on
talk the
that.
baseball cards, man. What do we got?
Well,
Where's Adam?
I'm going to bring him in here. Oh, what? He was here. Where'd he go?
Uh-oh.
Adam, come back. So, Mike, I got to bring up something.
Which Mike?
No, Mike. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to call him Petty. Petty,
Okay.
when did you start doing advertising?
Oh, yeah. That looks like Wayne Newton.
It does.
Down Jane. Oh.
I saw this at a Hannaford in Topsom, Maine, and I think I've sent it to you before too, Mike.
Yeah, you did through a discard. That is fun. I even said, "How did they get my picture in there?"
Yeah.
That's
proving that anybody can wear that hairstyle, huh? From the 70s. Oh, that's great.
All right. Hopefully Adam will come back. He was in
Okay.
backstage. I don't
Did
know
we
where he went.
mention Mike's newsletter?
Oh,
He's got a really good newsletter.
that's good. That's 2. We got to do 3 more
All
tonight. Okay.
Sounds good, man.
Hey, I see
me-
Warren. Warren's in the chat. Warren, email me your mailing address. I've got a card to send you. You're just ignoring my comment about it. Email me.
Everybody with the gifts. Petty
I've
minute. We should do a video on that on gifts.
So Mike, it's good that Mangini's in here because we just had the committee just tonight. They picked out the Hall of Famers. So we got Dave Parker is going to be added to the Hall of Fame. This is a card from Dylan's collection. We got a Dave Parker here, 77. And
he deserves it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys if you guys think it was a good call, but I am going to say the person who makes out the most from this is actually Mangini because he's been pumping those rookie cards of Parker for years.
Probably got 100 of them.
No Lewis Taint though.
No, he didn't make it.
Yeah, he got under 5 votes. I honestly thought he should have made it, to be honest with you, out of all the guys.
He's borderline, but boy, Richie Allen really deserved it. I guess they said the last time that he missed by 1 vote. And then it's been another 5 years since then or something. So it's good to see him get in.
Yeah, so I brought 1 card here. So we got 3 Hall of Famers on this one now.
Yeah, that's a good card. That's a really nice card.
Yeah. Clemente's always on the league leader cards. So
3 Hall of Famers. Beautiful.
So
I
you
love
guys,
1971. I've been pushing that 1971 Topps card. I wish I had mine here, but it was the first card that I ever remember noticing the centering on. You're not going to find one of 1,000 cards of that 71 Topps centered.
Huh.
And so it's really rare to find it in that high grade centered. I bet Dylan doesn't even have it.
I love this. I love the 71.
He's got the gilded schmilded though.
Oh man. Hey, why don't we get into it, guys? I'll bring Adam in when he gets here. So let's start off with reflecting on 2023 to 2024. In what way have you guys personally pivoted your collections, or haven't you at all in this new year? If Junk Wax Hero, you want to start?
Yeah, so last year, mid-year, really at the National, I started buying bigger cards, saving up my money. I'm not a wealthy man. Saving up my money and buying bigger cards instead of doing like $5 and $10 cards. And this year I continued that strategy and picked up, I don't know, 15 or 20 bigger cards that I would never have considered buying 2 years ago because they were out of my price range. But if I can go, a week or a month without getting a card in the mail, which was hard, I like getting those packages. It's almost like breaking cards. It becomes an addiction. I got 6 more eBay packages. And so that was my strategy this year, was to continue buying the bigger cards. And finally crossed the $1,000 threshold on a card.
Yeah, and the other thing
That's
is you started the list of 100 cards, correct, this year?
Yeah, and I have most of them are affordable. It's the attainable list is the whole point of it. All of them are under $5,000, but the vast majority of them are under $1,000, and many under $100. They're just cards that are cool or dope, as the kids say. Watching intro video would be so boring.
Yeah. Do you guys think though? And I know I can't speak to how long you guys have been back into collecting off the top of my head, but do you guys think that us as collectors gradually increase our threshold for how much we're willing to spend on a single card, or do you just think that depends on the person?
I mean, I think that's what Mike has done. I certainly have done it.
Yeah.
I'm in a area now that I never really thought that I'd be comfortable in. I had, spent that much on a card maybe 5 years ago, but it was like the Mantle Tops, 52. So I wasn't really used. Now I seem like I'm a little bit more comfortable in that area. I mean, it's been my plan, for really the 15 years for me. I had a focus of where I was starting and where I was going. I probably went a little too fast, and like I am very impatient and impulsive sometimes. And probably my 40s and 50s, in the 60s, 70 cards that I bought, got a little carried away. Bought too many. Probably wasn't. I was happy just to scratch them off my, my player runs. But then as I got going, I think in 2022, I had a nice trajectory, and until I felt comfortable, like in the pre-war area. I hit the ground running in 23, and then this year has been unprecedented. I had a war chest budget, and I made good use of it. To tell you, I really, the biggest thing for me was I created a list of 100, also kind of like Mike did, and it was a regenerating list, as we all joke, but it was really no fucking joke. I have to tell you, I mean, it got pretty expensive when you had it all. I was shocked, but got some great cards out of it, though. I'm really
Petty, you really shifted, unless I missed something. You really shifted more into pre-war focus, right? Like you were post-war, like you were Clemente, Mantle. And then this year you went heavy pre-war, unless I'm wrong.
Because once you have all those, it's like, well, where do you go?
Right.
And that's really how I had planned it out. It was a bad plan in retrospect. I should have started from the top up, worked my way down. I would have had a much easier time, picking out better centered cards, maybe less grade, and probably not getting beat as hard on these cards that I'm buying today. Even though, the cards that I bought back then, I mean, I've appreciated most of them, 3 to 5, some of them tenfold, so I've got nothing really to be upset about anything that I've done, and who knows where it leads next year, but I know I am going to have a shorter list next year. That list of 100 it's going to be with those last lists of all the parallels that I threw up last time. I mean, I'm ripping that up, and I'm going to try to do just like 6 cards next year, believe it or not. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, I wish I could bet against that. But
it should be. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, but that's really kind of where I want to be. I have. If Adam was here, he had me on that 30 for 30 earlier this year that set the stage, and I was able to pick up a couple of those cards this year that I'll show. And that kind of really just springboarded me into having an amazing year and see where it takes me. I don't know. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the next topic. The next topic I had was talking about our favorite pickup this year. It might not necessarily be the biggest card monetarily. It might just be, we just like the card and we didn't think we would have it, or whatever the reason. Junk Wax Hero, what did you bring to the table with that question? There we go. Let me give you full screen here.
I love that card.
It's so great. And my friend Oliver, who I talk about a lot, and he's been on my channel a few times, he just texted me tonight. He's going through a ladies' collection, elderly woman's collection. She's interested in selling. It's the most bonkers collection any of you have ever seen, just out in the wild. No cards graded. And one of them was this one, this very, very minor in this collection of hers. And he said that it reminds him of a superhero. And I thought that was perfect. Ted Williams looks like he's being photographed as a superhero in this card. The coloring is beautiful. It's great card.
I'm reading a book right now on the Leaf Company, and I exactly what I used to say is, don't buy what you like. I never liked those Leaf cards, but now it's funny that I don't have them, and I don't have that one. I am. It's on my list, but just gorgeous. I really, now I love them. So I wish I would have bought them when they were cheaper.
Yeah, great card. Awesome.
Card.
Here, I'll show mine, and then I'll let Petty show his next. This was my favorite pickup from the Nashville this year. The 61 Venezuelan Clemente card. This is a card that I really, really didn't think I would have probably for a while, and because I needed to buy like a 1 or an authentic, right?
Yeah,
and
it's a hard card to find.
I didn't want to give up on the quality. I didn't want to have a bunch of paper loss on it, and I found a 1 that I felt has great eye appeal. So I was really, really happy with that. All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to show my best one then that I had for this year. This is my favorite pickup of the year, no doubt. It was on my top 3, and here it goes.
What a show off.
Wow.
I know I hate to do that. I mean, look at if you can see the caramel on it.
That's a stunner.
It really is, and it's you know what I like. It's fresh to the hobby. It's newly discovered, and you know what that means? $2,000.
Wow.
Newly, that's what it means. And what happens every time they say that it costs you money. But anyway, it's just a stellar card. You know, it's upside down. It's a 2000. I'm sorry, the 1915 version. But yeah, very happy to have it, and just like I said, love the caramel stains on it, and just a beautiful, beautiful 2. You know,
Amazing.
so
That's an awesome card.
that was on my list of 3. If Adam was here, he could take credit.
There he is.
There he is.
We had some technical difficulties, folks, and I'm
What's
using a
up there,
backup
fruit
device. Here
tart?
we are.
Adam, you need time to get set up here. You want me to take you off camera for now, or are you good?
I think I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, then we're good.
All right. Real quick while you get caught up here. If anybody in the chat wants to say their favorite pickup personally this year, I'd throw them up on the screen and call them out. That'd be awesome. Adam, the only thing we covered so far is we were just going through our favorite pickup of the year. Did you have yours, Andy, or want to talk about it?
Yep. It's this one. This was from Darren. Return to collecting.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Does that
Can you
count as a
imagine?
pickup? I think it does, right?
He gave that away. A gift.
He gave that to you?
Yeah.
He
Well,
gave me
he won it in
a
the
Christy
contest.
Matheson white cap. And
And look at-
this is now the oldest card in my collection and my only T206. So how lucky was I?
Gorgeous one.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. It's a beautiful card. Darren's got an amazing eye, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the craziest contest, VR contest as far as prizes go, I've seen. I heard back in the day there were some crazy ones like 3 or 4 years ago, but I haven't seen anything like that lately.
Well, if you're a guy like me or all these guys in the chats, you don't even get to play the VR game. And so basically you just got a bunch of VRs for everybody. Everybody's VRing each other and we can't win gifts. Nobody ever sends us a gift. We don't get Bradley Claus. It's nothing.
Cole in the stocking. Mike, you have a handle. You could have posted a video. Don't
I don't post videos.
You could have.
I don't even know how. Literally.
All right.
All right.
All right. So let me see here. What did I have next on the agenda here?
Nut sour grapes.
The best deal of 2024. We'll start with Junk Wax Hero again since we started every other round. So Mike, what's the best deal you got or best pickup deal you got this year?
I guess I'm gonna go with my Satchel Page. I got this from the Grail collection. I think this was the first. No, it wasn't the first card they sold because they had sold some before they put a video out. But they put a video out of the Grail collection. This was Mike, baseball collector, and Chris Sewell. And they said it came back as a 2, which was lower than they were expecting, so they were going to sell it. So I texted Mike and said, "What's your price?" And he said, "Make me an offer." And so I made him an offer, and he was like, "Yeah, let me think about it." And then he came back to me an hour later and said, "Okay, it's yours."
Oh,
and
the card looks like a 7, man. I mean, that's a ridiculous. It's impossible to find that centered too.
Yeah.
No, that is a great card. And
yeah, I hope you lowballed him. I hope you didn't give him your best offer.
Well, I looked up comps of 2s, and I offered fairly high in the range. I felt it was fair, but I also knew what a great 2 it was. Okay. And I felt like he was very generous to agree to my offer.
I got a couple guys. Before I get the Petty's answer here, Orlando said his favorite was the red fob he picked up this year.
Yeah, with the polar bear back. It's beautiful.
Steven got that Leaf Jackie at Strongsville. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, they both got those in Strongsville.
Here we go. Robert said 1960 Johnny U. He finished his set, he said. I think we're getting some feedback from Adam somehow. I don't know how, but
Hold on.
All right, no problem.
Shows up late.
Yeah, I've been using the same laptop for 3 years, and tonight it says it doesn't recognize your camera. So whatever. Get out of here.
Probably app.
Hey, Mike Petty, what's your best budget or what's your best value pickup this year?
My best value pickup this year, a surprise. It's going to be a surprise actually, because as you guys know, I picked these two up, getting shilled by Shilstein, right? They turned out to be pretty good deals, all in all. But market value probably great. And who knows? It's only 5 months ago. But the card that was the best value, that's done the most, is actually this one.
Really?
Really. I mean, I picked this up on eBay, and it was they listed it for $7.99. I think I won it for 2 bids after, so like $8.20. And they had a bunch of these cards on just on the last auction on Heritage, and this one in a 5 went for like $3,800. It was no nicer, it wasn't centered or particularly much better than this. And so I'd say that that's probably the best deal out of all these. I mean, it's hard to say. You're not buying what you're buying these days for deals necessarily, I'm just buying a nice looking card and in my range and trying to collect these home run derby cards, and they're murder,
Oh, I love that set. It's super underrated in my opinion. Even though they go for a good amount of money, I still think they should go for more, to be honest.
Now, keep in mind, for 3 years, you never saw these for sale unless they were to buy it now that was just like 5 times over, the comps. And then once they came out on Probe Scene and got shilled up, they literally have been out in auctions every week or every 2 weeks and just going bonkers. The Aaron is insane. It just, they sold the PSA 3 on Probstein this month, or actually just last month, for like, I think it was 4,600. And then you figure they got another one in Heritage. It was no better. In fact, I thought it was worse. It went for 5,600. So, and he won that home run derby. I was listening to an interview. With the money that he won, he bought his father a market. His father always wanted a grocery store, and they filmed it right here in Wrigley Field in LA. It's a shame that that's gone. But so that's a story on the home run derby. Is I thought that was the best deal that I made.
Yeah.
Is that any better?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't know if maybe you had the YouTube. I had your YouTube open as well as Premiere, maybe.
No. Does it sound bad? I'll jump off if it does.
No, you look 10 years younger too.
I'm using my phone, man. This is weird. I never use my phone for these things.
Maybe does your phone have a case on it?
No, I took it off.
Okay. All right,
this is going horribly, guys. I'm about to jump out of here. This is terrible. I'm sorry.
No,
Adam.
It's fine.
If it sounds like crap, tell me. I'm out.
It doesn't. You're fine.
Good.
Just keep going.
Hey, can I let me clear the chat real quick? Chris C said 68 Milton Bradley, Nolan Ryan in a 4. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I think I saw him pick that up actually. I think he picked that up at the Burbank show.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Kirk V said a Ted Williams doubleheader. I'd love to get the Jackie Robinson doubleheader.
You should get that signed too, Chris. You send that to Nolan Ryan's.
Oh yeah, the Nolan Ryan. Yeah. Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. He said his favorite was my 1949 Leaf Honus Wagner. Was he talking about your pickup? Is that what yours was, or no?
No, that's his. That's the yellow one, the Leaf.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's see here. I think
that's
I
the
might
one with him shoving the tobacco in his mouth.
Oh yeah. No, I know which one you're talking about now. Adam, what's your best value pickup of the year? Did you have it out?
Well, I was going to use this again because I got it as a gift. So I guess you would say that's a good value. Honestly, I don't think I got any good deals this year. So I don't really have. I don't do a lot of auctions. So I think I probably get. I just pay the fair value, or maybe sometimes over. I didn't get any good deals.
That's the way it goes, man. You don't.
That's all right. All right. I'll show mine real quick here. I got the plaque checklist, and I obviously Richie Allen's on here.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
yeah, I got this at the National, and
What year is that again? Is that a 68?
yeah, 1968. Yep.
Yeah, that how did that come on a box or something, or?
No, it came in. It was a test. It was a test they did, but it came with. There's two checklists. There's this one and the other checklist. This one's more loaded, but you got the one checklist, and then you got these three they're like plastic faces of the players, and the pack came with the three plastic players' faces and the checklist. And yeah, so I bought this for $625. Okay. And as you know, Mike, I'm a tough negotiator. He wanted he wanted like $750, but I got it for $625. And I just looked the other day, and they sell an authentic grade for $950. So
which show did you get it? National?
Yeah, the National. Yep.
Yeah, and you got it. You bought it graded?
I did not buy it graded. I bought it ungraded.
You bought it ungraded, then you sent it in and got an authentic on it. That's good. And they put it in a nice. They put it in a nice holder for you. They didn't put it in the big notebook holder.
Yeah. So I kind of figured it was to be authentic because they're like a lot of them are technically hand cut. I think some sheets got out at one point, and a lot of them got cut off of the sheet, opposed to being in the packs because it was a test that didn't end up doing it. Didn't end up selling them to the public. So all right. So the next question I had for you guys is what's your favorite card show this year? Your favorite card show experience this year? Start with Junk Wax Hero.
Yeah, so for me, it's always the National. Tons of great cards, and I get to meet a lot of other people from the community, whether they are commenters or YouTubers, and I love that. But I'm also going to shout out the Shriner Show. Adam, hopefully you'll be at the Shriner Show in April, right? Are you going to be in New England?
Hopefully, yeah. Hoping to make it back in the spring. So, yep.
All right, yeah. Shriner's mostly vintage. It feels like it's a 60% plus vintage show, and it's got some pretty big dealers that have some great cards. Even though I can't afford a lot of it, it's nice to just go around and see, and that's outside of Boston.
Awesome. Patty, what was your favorite show you went to this year?
Well, for me, it was without a doubt, it was Strongsville. You know, I mean, I got to meet pretty much everybody there, Orlando, and had a great time with him, and Greg, Darren, yourself, John Keating, and there was, Chris from Missouri and his posse, and I think there was John with the Wade Boggs guy. I had a good conversation with them. But just the amazing show. I'm going back there again this year. I really want to go to that Philly show too, because they say that that's a really good show. So I think next year I'll plan the Philly instead of the Strongsville. But I mean, just as far as like per capita, for a vintage dealer, it's like a kid in a candy store. I'll just remind you, I picked that little guy up, the Yin Yang Ice Cream Ruth, and that was the highlight there. I did that with all my buddies in the back, and it was pretty funny actually when you watch me write a check for that. I couldn't find the check, and the whole story was ridiculous. But anyway, that's one of my good pickups too. So that my favorite show, hands down.
Awesome. I'm getting a lot of Strongsvilles in the chat, so they're agreeing with you, Mike. I definitely enjoyed Strongsville. I definitely enjoyed the people there, but of
course Sammy was there too. Had a good.
Yeah, Sammy. There were some great guys there. But obviously the mayor was there, Chris from Missouri. But I only spent one day there, so I still preferred the National personally, just because I had more time. We got a house with like 12 of us. We called it the frat house. It wasn't as nice as the Misfits house, that's for sure.
No, but it was nice though, and it looked like fun. Now, are you going to stay overnight in Strongsville this year, Theo, or are you just going to hit and run again?
I am. I actually rented a room with John, 3D80s kid. We're going to be working together. Yeah.
I'd hate to be in that room. No, it should be fun. look forward to it. Seeing you for the day there. It's good.
Yeah. I can't imagine what your food bill was though in Strongsville. I think you bought about 20 dinners.
No, I just bought a couple, 2 or 3. I just like buying. It's I don't know, just one of those things.
No, that was really nice of you.
Yeah, no problem.
Adam, you didn't get out and about as much this year. Did you have a favorite card show, or you didn't get to any?
I went to one, and it was a great show. It's called the Best Flippin' Card Show in Woburn, Massachusetts. And it was a, it's not a huge show, but one of the first guys I ever met in the hobby, through, I think it was through Twitter. His name's Jeff, and he runs that show now. So I went to that, and I bought some cool vintage cards from Matt from Providence that I recently saw on your channel, Mike. That was a great interview. So I had a great time there. I got some awesome cards, and that was my best one because it was my only one, but it was good. It was a good time. I recommend it if you're in the area.
There's one either this weekend or it's coming up. I just saw an ad for it on Twitter this weekend.
Yep.
The Best Flipping Card Show.
Let's talk about bad beats. It's actually something we don't really talk about much on our channels, but can you recollect the time when the right card for the right price was available, and for whatever reason you didn't maybe you didn't bid enough, or somebody bought it before you? What's everybody's card that they regret not picking up this year? Chunk Wax Hero, did you have one that comes to mind?
I didn't. I couldn't think of one. I'm not really sure that there was one that really killed me for not getting. So sorry about not having a good answer.
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead, Petty. What do you got?
I do. The M116 Honus Wagner in the pastel. I mean, most of you guys know my story about during the pandemic picking one of those up. I was like a PSA 3, and it was like about $3,000, just an amazing price, gorgeous card. And it came all jammed up in the holder. We sent it back to PSA, and they showed me the picture. It looked great in a brand new holder. Sent it back to me, and it was jammed up again in the PSA holder, to the point where you couldn't tap it out. I mean, it literally, here you've got a 100-year-old card, and it's jammed up, beyond almost. So it was a card that I really wanted. It was on my list, and of course, the same exact one. You guys know I was bidding on those no matter what the cost was. I bid one up, lost it at 3:00 in the morning. It was like I don't even want to. It was a PSA 7. I don't even want to tell you how much it was. I was halfway relieved, but Tony with the Southern Collector is the one that outbid me. Sure enough, it showed up in his collection. That was a 4 that he bought, and there was also a 5.5 that looked about the same, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. And then shortly after that is when I got that red Cracker Jack. So I said, I'm not going to get beat out. And that taught me a lesson. Was like, when you see a card like that and it's that nice, it doesn't matter what the comps are. It really doesn't. So that one is it's very high on my list next year.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bad beat, but it was a card that got away for sure.
Yeah. That sucks. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I did think of one, by the way. I didn't want to. Sorry, I was just kind of looking at comments and also, but I did think of one that just happened this past week where there was a lot of 2, I think it's 1887 Allen and Ginters, Annie Oakley and Buffalo Bill. And I didn't have any money because I had already blown through my budget for the month. And I decided I was going to bid anyway. And I was the underbidder for it, which it went for a reasonable price, but I was just like,
at least you drove the price up. That's the way I look at it.
I think the same way.
You're not trying hard enough, but you're driving it up for the other guys. So, what the hell?
I really wanted it though. You're not going to find them raw that often. So
yeah. And I've been underbidder a lot the last couple of months. I mean, so in a lot of different platforms, I think the market still seems quite hot to me.
Yeah, the auction houses love you, Petty. You keep money in their pockets. That's for sure.
Yeah, they don't even wait for my checks to clear anymore. Before my check is even in the mailbox, they've got that package. It's out and ready to go.
They're trying to give you credit. You're not taking it. They want to give you a bunch of credit.
I'm a stoop.
Mine isn't as crazy as Petty's was. Obviously, I buy a lot smaller cards than Petty does. But I was at Strongsville. We get there. We do early entry on Friday, the first day of the show. Or was it Thursday? Whatever the first day was. We do early entry. The first table I go to has a Bazooka Clemente in an SGC slab, 1965. One of the bazookas I need, SGC 5. I need this card. It's already in an SGC holder. It looks amazing. And I go, it was $225. And I go, well, I'm going to look at every table like quickly, and then I'm going to come right back here. Literally, I came back an hour later. I'm not kidding you. And it was gone. And I was like, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that?
That hurts. That's why you guys laugh. But when I walk into those shows and they laugh at me for buying a card in 3 minutes, but if I see the right card, I don't need that on my head. That's a
no. Yeah. I mean, I think the card's value was probably like $300 to $350. So it was a good price. So it was just, I was just kicking myself. But Adam, did you have something that came to mind?
Well, the one that came to mind a few months back, there was a heritage auction where there was a dandy Mickey Mantle, and I think it was like a SGC 2 or maybe a 2. Yeah, 2 probably. It was real low grade, but it was nice, like perfect. It was nicely centered. And Dave, Blue Jacket 66, he knew I was looking for one, so he was nice enough to send me a message and say, hey, keep an eye on this one. And so I looked at it. It was like 15 days to go, and the thing was already like out of the range I wanted to pay for it. It was already
nice.
like 3,000 something. I'm like, there's 15 days left, so I was already out. I didn't even get a chance to bid on it or anything, and it had me wondering, I'm like, why are people bidding so early on this thing? What's going on here? So, but yeah, that one I wanted to at first glance, but then I never had a shot at it. I was like, I'm not getting involved in this now. It's crazy.
What did it sell for?
I didn't even look. I think it was probably $5-6 grand, maybe. I would assume.
Well, that's the thing. You want that 2 for a 2 price, or maybe a 2.5, right? You don't want to pay, even though it looked like a 5 and it was perfectly centered.
Yeah.
You can't pay 5 prices for it.
Exactly.
I mean, I know the fascination. I mean, when it's centered, I just don't. You just have to move on and wait for another one.
Yep.
And it will come around, at the right time. It'll hit when both, hemispheres strike each other, and grade and card to come together, you'll get it.
Yeah. The worst beats for me is when I have something watched on eBay and I literally don't check eBay for a couple days. And that's the worst beat for me just in general. I hate that so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Junk Wax here.
The card goes lower.
Yeah, so sometimes I forget. Like I'll say I'm gonna throw in a snipe bid on this via Gixxen, but I don't have the time at that moment.
Yeah.
And then I just completely forget, and I get an alert saying this sold, and it sold for way under what I would have paid for it. And that doesn't mean, of course, the person who won it may have also had a high bid too, but that kills me.
Yeah, but then he got it for cheap, and you got screwed. That's the way it works.
Kills me.
Oh yeah, I hate that so bad. So the next thing I wanted to roundtable as far as reflecting on 2024 is, did you guys have a favorite YouTube video? And I would love to hear from the comments as well. Did you have a favorite YouTube video you watched this year that's card related, or a favorite video you made yourself on your own channel? Either one's fine. Junk Wax here, did you have something that came to mind? Or you want me to come back to you?
I just watched Darren Return to Collecting's year-end top 100. Completely blown away. It's a 2-video. It's 2 videos. It's about an hour, and I don't usually sit through an hour of videos, but man, that dude's collection is amazing. So yeah, that I'm gonna have to go with that.
Nice.
That's collecting goals right there.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Awesome.
Great guy too. Deserves it.
So Mike, you watch a ton. Mike Petty, you watch a ton of content. Does something come to mind that you really enjoyed watching this year?
Well, there's a couple of them that come right to my mind. Actually, my favorite one was the one with Orlando when him and I were drinking on the Hobby Palooza, raising money for charity, and with that bullshit line, "Don't buy what you like, buy what you don't like. And so that got a lot of feathers ruffled, and just the whole drinking episode. I just thought it was fun for me. And boy, I was hammered after that too. That was a lot of beer going down. You take that for granted. I don't know why I had to do 2-ounce shots. Boy, I cut myself, but it was fun, and we raised a lot of money for charity too, which was great. And then of course the other one that you did, that you edited with the reading off the names of all the releases, the baseball card releases, the Petty Minute. Oh, that was just too funny the way you sped it up, and because you take for granted how hard it is for you guys to do these videos. You're talking. I'm not used to just like right now. I'm speaking with you, and there's a bunch of people here. It's easy, but when it's just you and the stupid camera there, and you set it up, you played the thing, and I was just the first time I really ever did it, and you really. I knew there was no way I was going to get through. There was 15 pages of those names. I don't know if people know that. You set me up to get frustrated. I know you did. But in the end, it ended up perfectly, ripping up the list, because I was going to collect the modern, but then I've been following it a little bit with the breaks with one of the guys in the community here, Arnie, the carddeal.com. I mean, I'm fascinated by it, but I just don't see myself, my eyes are hurting. I don't see it.
You brought up a great point, though, Mike Joke Mike's Hero. You do more solo videos than anybody in here. You do a great job at it. Did it take a while for you to get comfortable just talking to the screen, or did it come naturally to you?
Well, talking to myself comes very naturally to me because I don't have any friends. But,
you're alone.
If you look back at my early videos, I was so bad at it. It definitely takes some time getting used to just all of it. The talking to yourself and coming up with I don't have a script, but I do generally keep some notes of things that I want to cover and in a specific order, because I watch certain large YouTube channels and they ramble and they're all over the place, and it drives me crazy. And I don't want to just talk for 12 minutes and be all over the place. So I try to keep it in a specific order. But yeah, in the beginning it was awful.
Do you ever stop and edit, or do you just run through and just let it go?
I go all the way through. So if I have a 8-minute video, it probably started at 11 or 12 minutes, and I try to cut out the dead silences, or sometimes I'm looking at my notes. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a great channel and a great newsletter. Don't forget to order that newsletter, folks.
Yes, that's the third time. We only have to talk about it 2 more times.
And Adam has a newsletter. Shit, what are we missing? Everybody's got a newsletter.
Sometimes.
Adam, let's go to you.
I miss Mangini's newsletter, by the way.
I think Adam was doing that with.
Well, he did. Together. John did like a series, and then he became president and decided he didn't have enough time for it anymore.
Yeah, now he's too big. He walks among the commoners.
Yeah,
little people.
Well, Theo, I would say that the hardest I laughed at a YouTube sports card video this year was Mr. Mike Petty when he was on Sports Card Radio. I think it was the last time you were on there. I was amazed. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, is this guy a professional comedian? Where does he come up with all this stuff so quickly and like off the cuff? Amazing. I laughed so hard at that one. And the other one that I still laugh about when I think about was Jeff Wilson doing the 1980 Topps break, or opening a box of 1980 Topps and saying Lewis Taint about 50,000 times in the video. I mean, think about how funny that is. Lewis Taint, guys. Come on. That every time I think of it, I start laughing. I can't believe
Probably the whole reason he didn't get into the Hall of Fame today was because of that video.
Nobody knew his name. There he is. Red Sox.
Lewis Taint, baby.
Yeah.
Lewis Taint. You're Lewis Taint.
You're gonna make me show my taint.
This was a gift from Scott Reindeer Studios, by the way.
Yes.
Nice
what is
card
that?
there.
What did he do with that? Oh, the logo on it, or?
Oh, that's my own logo there.
No.
Yeah, but what?
Nice.
Oh, and that's signed.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I got this via TTM.
Real quick.
Oh no, this is just a Mag Pro with my Splendid Sports
Yeah, but where did you say about Scott? That's a 76, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is a 76. Scott gave it to me just as a
He
nice
gave it to
gesture.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Another gift.
Yep.
Everybody with the gifts.
Unbelievable.
I have a gift from Eddie's Cardboard Chaos sitting next to me. I haven't opened it yet. Imagine the willpower to not open it yet.
Yeah, Eddie's here. Eddie's here.
I should open it right now, huh?
Why don't you open it? It'll be like Christmas Day.
I should open it right now. I'm going to open it.
I always like watching other people open gifts.
He's here, right? Yeah, he's right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bunch of rocks.
Could you imagine if you were the number one taint collector on PSA Registry? Oh my gosh.
You'd be so mad.
He wrapped it. Look at this. What a guy.
Aw. How many gifts do you get a year? Do you have a storage shed out and back?
No, not that many.
The hobby people or the YouTubers are ridiculously generous, all except for me.
Yeah.
Give anything.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my gift from you, Petty.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything for you. And I have all my cards are when I die, they're coming to you.
Hey, look at this. This is so nice.
Another taint.
The Jeff Wilson collection Lewis taint.
Does
it say that on it?
Yes, it does.
Did Dylan do that? Oh no, that's
Eddie did.
Eddie did that. So he should do that too.
This is now maybe my favorite thing in my collection.
A 1975 and a 76.
Wow, that's the greatest taint I've ever seen.
I didn't even notice it before I showed it on the screen. Lewis taint from the Jeff Wilson collection.
Oh,
yes.
Hold that all the way up with the label. Let's see the label.
Yeah,
can you see the label?
It looks like a Dylan label.
That's a beautiful label.
And the card is spectacular.
Wow.
I remember opening those up by the hundreds.
I picked it up Friday actually my wife picked it up at my P.O. box, and I was right at the end of my day, and I threw it down, and I was like, oh, I'm going to open this. And then I never come down here all weekend long, and so here I am. So
that was
thanks,
worth
Eddie.
the whole show. You should write a whole newsletter on Louis Taint.
Chris from Missouri said he has a bounty out for that card. So.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Oh shit!
He's the most expensive taint out there. All right, let's try to get the back on the rails here. So let's actually talk about the community. Is there somebody you met this year? Is there somebody you met this year that you became close friends with in the hobby? Junk Wax Hero, do you have somebody that comes to mind?
Met this year, I would say Dan from Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. We met at the National. We had been texting back and forth, and we just have similar kind of weird sense of humor and get along great. So, and he wrote the original Jeff Wilson takedown in my newsletter, and then we did the taint one on my video, Lewis Taint. So
good too.
Thank you. Yeah, Dan, he's wicked funny. So that's my Northeast coming out. Wicked funny guy.
That's really cool because Dan obviously sometimes does the For Collector Sunday live stream. So I think he's done 4 or 5. He's asking to be called the 5th collector. We told him we'd get back to him. So
the 5th Pete Best, the 5th Beetle.
You know what? I forgot to say my favorite video of the year. My favorite video of the year actually wasn't a funny one. It was when Sammy Thunder interviewed Pat Quinn about the Venezuelan cards. And if you're watching this and you have any interest in Venezuelan cards, it's 6 months old now. I went today to see how long ago he did it, but it's 6 months old now, and he interviewed Pat Quinn about Venezuelan cards, and it was awesome. Did you get to see that one, Mike Petty?
I did. I don't think I watched the whole thing because I don't collect the Vennies.
Yeah.
I was busy that day, or I don't know what the hell I had going on. Occasionally I get busy.
Yeah.
But I did see it. I love Sammy. I watch everything he does.
And then my favorite person I met this year and I'm friends with now is Mike Petty. Actually, we met.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Yeah. There you go. We met at Strongsville.
Yeah.
We talk on the phone now, like at least a couple times.
You can call me anytime. I mean, I have a have a good friendship, and you kind of keep me on the rails more so than anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the same way.
Mike, not to put you on the spot, but who came to mind that I know you met a ton of people this year because you kind of finally put your face out there this year.
Yeah.
Who did you meet in person this year?
Really, everybody. I mean, Orlando was the main guy that got me into this. I love him dearly, and I have to. I think I have like a special relationship with like Darren and Greg, and like everybody loves Greg. I mean, Brent did that video on him, how he was his best friend already. I'm saying that's a pretty special guy. You kind of feel like him, and he everybody's got their place, in the hobby there. Like, for Junk Wax here, it's like at nighttime, I like to watch him when I'm falling asleep. Greg, I like to watch during the day. He has enthusiasm. He's always, fired with enthusiasm. And really what you see, is what you get with him. So yeah, I love him too. And pretty much everybody I've met in Strongsville, it goes like from Dylan to Adam to Lou to, Ginarini. You got Jason, and there's just so many. The name Sammy. I mean, John 3D. I mean, the names go on and on. I could just reach out, and I'm lucky enough to be on that Discord that like to chime in with these guys. And Tony, Southern Collector, we have a lot in common with business and with our collecting and things like that. So we seem to have a good bond. Another guy, David, he watches, but he doesn't really, give out too much in the YouTube. But we were lucky to meet him in Strongville and got a good friendship with him, and just so many people. And I know and Chris from Missouri too. He's a great guy as well.
Yeah, Chris is the best. Adam, were you able to hang out with anybody or make a new friend this year that came to mind?
Well, I feel like I did make some new friends. I didn't actually meet anyone in person in 2024. I met a lot of people 2023 when I went to the National. Yeah. But it is weird though. I do feel like even though I didn't meet anyone in person, I feel like I did make a lot of friends, which is strange. But like you mentioned, Greg. Now we're on a text chain with Greg, and it's just something I didn't see coming. I didn't see this happening to me in my 40s here, making all these new friends in this way. Even Mr. Petty over there, when you popped on Turn Back the Clock one night with me and Dylan, and I think it might have been Lou Rock. Yeah. And you came out, and that was the first time I saw you. That was cool, man. Yeah. That was and then here we are now. So
and then
this is a lot of new channels coming online now, which is really cool. There's no slowing down with the new channels, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love it that everybody's doing their thing, just getting it out there. We're just keep doing it, everybody. And I think we'll override all the breakers and the investors at some point.
You could only hope. I know Adam's wife's starting to get a little bit concerned about all the men he has in his phone, but
yeah, it's a little strange, But
it really is.
I don't have their real names. I got like their YouTube names, So it's like Clemente Collector. Like what? Who's Clemente Collector?
I'll never forget when my wife said, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Orlando." She's like, "Who's Orlando?" I go, "He's a really great guy." She's like, "Where's he live?" I said, "Orlando." She goes, "No." It's true. I said, "It's true." I don't know what to tell you. Junk Wax here, you were going to say something. What? Before I interrupt.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
We got about 6 more minutes left. We're gonna end with talking about next year. So Orlando's cracking up. So to talk about next year, 2025, I think something that we all love to talk about is where we see card prices going. Because we want to buy more cards, and obviously if the prices go down, it's great for us. So what's our prediction though? Where do we think the market will go this year as far as pricing goes? Does somebody want to start this one?
I'm hoping vintage comes down. I don't think it will, at least not
I hope
much.
Santa Claus comes on December 25th, because I'll tell you, I don't see shit going down right now. Things are out of control.
Yeah.
From what I see.
And if you're a seller, that's great. If you're a buyer, collector, I'd like to see things come down a little bit.
I agree with you, though.
Not so that it's going to ruin a bunch of vintage dealers, but
Yeah.
No,
So
it would be nice to see some of these cards go down a little bit, and that was part of my buying in 2024. Is I'd like to buy into the dip, and I think I was successful to some degree. But on the really nice stuff too, it was quite a ride. I don't consider many deals were had. If you want the card, you're going to have to pay for them. They are coming out of the woodwork now, though, where they were pretty tight before. So
yeah, I've noticed some cards that I rarely ever see come out, and I saw that last like holiday season area. Feels like people are trying to get rid of some cards, maybe to buy presents or whatever the situation is. So you guys both feel the market this year for 2025 is going to pretty much be steady. Not really much a change, not go up, not go down.
I think it's going to stay more of the same. Some of that you might get lucky here and there and hit a little bump on the way down. But if you're going to look at that prime stuff, and I think, like the ones, and we're talking about ones and twos on a lot of this stuff, not fives. And I think you have to pay up.
Petty's bidding on the Morehouse Baking Ruth right now on REA, I think.
I'm not betting on the Ruth. Believe me, I don't have that kind of money. But maybe you never know.
Adam, what do you foresee as far as vintage goes?
With vintage, yeah, I don't see anything that's gonna cause it to all of a sudden go down, other than if something happened where the economy tanked or something, because I feel like that's always a big factor in it. But as long as everything stays at least semi what it is now, yeah, I think, and it also depends on what you're going after. If you're going after a lot of the cards that everyone else wants, then obviously that's gonna drive the prices up. It seems like a lot of people do go after the same cards for the most part in the general hobby. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any great deals. I know I don't get a lot of good deals, but I don't see that changing.
No.
So
very seldom.
So the last thing I had for you guys is, what's a card you would love to pick up this year? That's within a decent price range, not like a dream card that you wouldn't be able to afford. So Mike Petty, did you think of a card that you really wanted to get this year?
So I'm not going to give the whole house away here tonight, because you never know. We'll talk about it later. But the one card that I did want to fill in on for my 30 for 30 list, I mentioned it before you popped in, Adam. I managed to hit 2 of those cards this year. And so one of the cards on that list, of course, I already spoke of that M116 Wagner. If that comes up, that's going to be bought. But the T227 Cobb, I think it's a 1912, I think, the yellow one. And I'm looking for a pretty, like a presentable copy in a 1 to 3 range. One of our friends, David, I found out too that I had a big bid in on one of those earlier this year. I mean, it went up high, much double my budget, but it was pretty nice. And I just wasn't going to go. He beat me by literally 200, and I was not going to put another bid in. And then it comes to find out that one of our group bought it. So I feel better about that. It's nice to know that, people in your group picked it up. So I feel good about that, because, you're always cheering on other collectors too. And there's plenty of, look, there's cards. If you miss it one time, there's going to be another one right around the corner at some point if you live long enough. So patience is the key. Going to work on that for next year, being that I'm very Eddie impatient. And so that's all I got.
Cool. Adam, what's a card you'd love to pick up this year?
Well, for me with vintage, it's going to be more about the type of card. I'm trying to get one card from really the most famous sets. So like I would like to get a T205 card. I really don't know the player right now. I'm trying to collect more, like trying to get a certain card more than even the player. There's probably a bunch of different players that I would be cool having a card of, but for me, it's more like type collecting. I'm going down now with, I'd like a T205. I don't have any 33 Gaudis, so maybe not a Ruth, but something else from that set maybe. So I'm kind of just targeting sets right now more than anything, more than players.
So Adam and Dylan got back together for Turn Back the Clock recently, and it was an hour-long episode about everything Adam collects. he collects so many different sets. It took an hour to explain.
Uh,
It was like one thing after another thing. I'm like, Adam, you're collecting way too much stuff, man. It was crazy.
Honestly, in 2025, it's probably not going to be a big buying year for me. I've said that before, but I've gone pretty heavy the last few years here. So 2025 is kind of a take a breath year, I think. So that's probably the general theme. I'll definitely buy some cards,
need to do more.
Nowhere near what
I've
I've done
more of that
recently.
That's one of my favorite shows. Between you and Dylan, you guys are great together.
I love it.
I think you need to try to do that at least once a month. I know you're busy.
Yeah,
and
it's my fault.
Dylan,
I've been kind of having a hard time doing it lately, but we definitely want to. I always want to, so.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta bust your chops. Adam. I love how you collect. It's great. It's awesome, man.
You're right.
You're a closet collector. You got a lot of great stuff in the closet.
Yeah. So I'll clear the deck real quick. I really want the 68 Bazooka Clemente. It's the longer bazooka card. It's definitely the number one card I'd love to get this year. So that's probably be an awesome year if I get that. And then
you know what? There's a good card too that you should look into. That's out of that same box, bazooka box, and that is called the Tips, TIPPS. The 1968 Bazooka Tips. I'm sure your buddy, the president, knows about that. But it came in the middle of the panels. So like you had two cards on one side, the thin ones, and two on the other. And in the middle, you had this big panel. And then it gets cut out and graded too. And there's, like the Willie Mays is pretty tough to get. And I think there's a Clemente, I want to say too. So that's really rare. But all the 68 bazookas are awesome. If I see any of them, like I know if Sammy wants that Seaver, of course, if I see it anywhere, I'll buy it and I'll just I'll make sure he gets it.
Yeah. If I ever see that Seaver, I'm definitely going to text Sammy about it.
All of them are nice. The Clemente too. That's a great set.
It's crazy. It's crazy how rarely they come up. Mike Junkwax Hero, what card would you love to get this year?
When you say this year, do you mean next year?
Yeah, next year. There you go.
Clemente rookie, 53 tops mantle.
Nice.
Those are two very high on my list.
Nice.
Very
cool. So basically, let me just end it here with all these guys here I talk to I have all three of their phone numbers I talk to all the time. I thought this was an awesome group of guys to put together. They all collect a little bit differently. But that's the awesome thing. I collect a little bit differently than the three of them as well. So I think this was a great panel tonight, guys. I hopefully the chat had a good time. I just want to thank you guys for coming out and spending an hour of your time tonight with us.
Yeah, I'll Venmo my fee. Venmo you my fee.
I'm free. It's a pleasure to be on with you guys. I love all three of you guys have great channels, and I respect all you guys and what you do for the hobby and for your collections and everybody. So, and thanks for having me on and thinking of me.
That was a blast. Thanks for having me on too.
Yeah, and we have to talk 2 more times about Mike's newsletter. Okay.
Mike has a newsletter?
Yeah, he does. All right. Well, thanks everybody that watched. If you guys are interested in the REA auction, my friend John, 3D 80s Kid, is doing a live tonight of the REA auction. So check it out. I'm sure Petty will show up on there. And
I'm going to go into the chat and run a little bit preoccupied right now.
Look, I said so many nice things about Dan, and here he is throwing shade at me.
He met me.
He
never calls me. He only calls super collectors.
I take it back, Dan.
Super collector. This super collector, that super collector. I got nothing. I got nothing for him.
I will. I'll see everybody on the next one. Thanks for watching.
All right.